Back to the program, Dollars and Cents. This is Joel Garris of Nelson Financial Planning. You're listening to Dollars and Cents, Central Florida's longest running radio program, one of the top 25 financial planning podcasts on the World Wide Web. If you're interested in checking us out on our social media channels, you can look us up on Facebook. Just find Nelson Financial Planning, or you can go to our YouTube channel, that also Nelson Financial Planning. We put up videos of the program during the course of the week as we video the program itself. We're excited. This is our inaugural week here on 96.9 The Game, and we are also simulcasting on our traditional network, which is News Radio WFLA Orlando. So we're on like 4 different stations at this point in time here in Central Florida. So if you miss us on one station, you'll catch us on the other. And of course, if you miss any part of the program, you can certainly catch our program, whether it's our video on YouTube, on our Nelson Financial Planning channel, or whether it's in podcast version. We're on Google Podcasts, iTunes, all that kind of stuff. Again, to find us, just search Nelson Financial Planning. And if you can't find us, the best option is to go to our website, nelsonfinancialplanning.com, and look at any of the icons in the upper right-hand corner. Click on it and you'll get immediately connected. So before the break, we were starting to set the stage for, unfortunately, what is always a byproduct of a tough economic period of time. And that is that the criminals like to surface. And we were talking a little bit about an AARP article, and we're going to post it on our social media channels so that you can read the full article in detail. But we wanted to share with you some of the highlights on it because I think it's important to watch out for the scam artists and the fraudsters that are out there, that are circling now, unfortunately, more than ever, ready to take advantage of you during a period of time that you really can't afford to be taken advantage of. And the scams are wide ranging. There's the official looking letter from Social Security saying that because of COVID, your Social Security benefits are going to be stopped or reduced. All you simply need to do to make sure that that doesn't happen is call a number and wire us some money or send us a gift card. Let me be very clear, okay? Social Security does not trade gift cards, so don't do that. Don't wire money to the government. That's not how they operate. But these letters that they do, and we've seen these letters, are very official looking and very detailed, and it makes you think that it is real. Another one, it's the old email scam, right? It's an email offering critical supplies, masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, whatever the case may be. You order it, give them all your credit card information, and nothing comes. They've got your credit card information, and you've got nothing. Not a good thing. Some even go so far as to pretend that they are health officials and offering you to be first in line for a potential vaccine, and if you just simply pay some money. Folks, look, the reality is those are all scams. Stay away from it all. Here are some basic rules to follow. Watch out for the fake stuff. The fake government approaches. Government's not going to ask for a credit card. They're not going to ask for a gift card or anything like that. Go to the website, do your own research, go to the website of a trusted charity if you want to help. One that you're familiar with, that's been around for a little bit. If a charity just got set up a month ago, I probably would stay clear of that until you do a lot more additional research on it. And then don't be tricked by fake news. I mean, go ahead and go to the CDC. If you got some questions on this, go to the CDC website, go to other trusted news agencies, and they will certainly be able to set you straight in terms of what the expectation is for the reality of what you should be expecting, and not some of this fake stuff, not some of this scam stuff. So just be aware of that out there. Unfortunately, as we see anytime during a tough economic period of time, there is a significant uptick in criminal activity, and that's certainly the case with technology and with the ability of people to create fake letters, send emails, make things look real when they really aren't. So beware of that as well on for everybody out there in terms of knowing what you're dealing with. That is for sure. Speaking of knowing what you're dealing with, if you're familiar with the payroll protection program in the CARES Act, it's a moving target and continues to be more and more of a moving target. Now, just to recap, CARES Act, that was the big piece of legislation that was passed that provided those stimulus checks that we talked about earlier in the program. It also provided a program for small businesses to basically loan money to help small businesses pay for up to 8 weeks of payroll costs, mortgage, rent, utilities, things like that during the time of COVID. Any payments on the loan were deferred, whether it's interest or fees or anything like that. You got the money, and you don't really have to pay anything for the next 6 months. The thing that is attracting a lot of attention, of course, is the forgivable part of the loan. The loan is forgiven for amounts that are spent on payroll costs. So whether that's mortgage or rent and certain utilities between February 15 and June 30th, those are now sort of the general concept in the CARES Act. Okay, so those are the general concept that was in that are in the piece of legislation. But now here comes the fine print. And as the Small Business Administration gets involved, as the Department of Treasury gets involved, and then correspondingly the Internal Revenue Service, you start to kind of have additional details get added in that may cause you to pause for a moment in order to figure out exactly what's going on with the Payroll Protection Act. And there really are three things to think about when it comes to the Payroll Protection Act, and some of the things that have really evolved since the CARES Act was first passed. And the first issue is actually a tax issue. There's always a tax issue, right? Anytime you do anything with the government, there's always a tax issue. Traditionally, if I have a loan and it's forgiven, let's say I have a $10,000 loan and it's forgiven, then that's going to result in income. I give you loan you $10,000 and I forgive the loan, it's $10,000 to you in terms of a business. In this case, because the loan is forgiven, the Payroll Protection Program loans, the loans get forgiven, then the amount that you borrowed, of course, would be excluded from gross income. But what about the expenses that you use that loan for? And here's where there's a significant battle brewing between IRS and Congress. Traditionally, if I have an expense as a business, right, then I get to write it off. Well, but if I got a loan that got forgiven because I spent that borrowed money on certain expenses, and that loan is not taxable to me, that's tax-free money, then if you write the expenses off as well that you use to pay that loan from, that you use the proceeds of that loan from, then you're sort of double dipping. And so the IRS has said, well, we don't want double dippers. We don't want you to be able to get a loan that gets forgiven that's not income and then be able to turn around and then also use the expenses that you use that loan money to pay for as a deduction in your business. So what that means is we've got a little bit of a debate going on between the IRS, who doesn't like the double dipping, never has, and Congress that says, well, wait a minute, our intent was to be as helpful as possible with this payroll protection program. And so we want businesses to be able to get the loan forgiveness and have that not included as income, and then be able to also write off the expenses that that loan gets used for. So interesting battle brewing in Washington, the IRS and Congress, about this particular aspect, because this one is the legislation is most unclear of, and I think we'll get a little bit more indication of which direction. But right now, the folks in Congress are going to have to pass something to clear it up, because the IRS has clearly taken the position that they don't want people to double dip. So interesting development there on the Payroll Protection Program and the loans that are available to small business under the CARES Act. We got a couple more thoughts on that, plus some updates on some other things that have sort of changed along the way as the CARES Act was passed, and then the IRS and those folks are filling out the details. We'll do that when we return here on Dollars and Cents. This is Joel Garris of Nelson Financial Planning on News Radio WFLA and 96.9 The Game.